a 79-year-old escapee from the Hold People's Home has been announced to be on the loose by the name Nancy Patricia Pelosi. Born March 26, 1940, attended the Trinity Washington University. She is an American Democratic Party politician serving as a Speaker of the United States House of Representatives since January 2019. Actually, she's the first woman that has held this position. Has anybody seen her? Please, if you have, there is an emergency, you can contact this number. Welcome to Melanin and Harbinoid Live. I am your host, Lady Abimbola. Welcome to today's blog. Well, today, as you've all known, that President Donald Trump has actually been vindicated with the attack or about his impeachment. Well, he has been found not guilty of any charge levied against him. He's a free man, free to preside over America without unnecessary threats, envy, jealousy, and wickedness. Well, unfortunately, let's just run through his foes, his political foes that actually orchestrated the impeachment in the first place. What is it all about? Well, as a spokesperson for against the Gangstalking program and the racist system, I decided to throw it a shot. What did I go through all the years of attack since he became the president of the United States? Well, just watch the main person that has been against Mr. President, Nancy Patricia Pelosi. Now listen to our own part of the story why she believes President Donald Trump should be impeached in the first place. Now, take a look at this. And
gentlemen, we're here with Speaker Nancy Pelosi. There was a big vote today in Congress formalizing the procedures for impeachment. When do public hearings start?
They'll be soon.
Could you be vaguer? Well, can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a favor, please? As someone who has to talk about this stuff every night, could you please not have them at night? Because then I have to do a live show every night after the hearings. Could you have them at 9 o'clock in the morning and have all the footage come in by, say, 2 o'clock so we can cut it for our show?
That might be a consideration.
Please.
But recognizing the seriousness of it, there's probably no more serious vote that members could take. Nobody comes to Congress to impeach a president. That's not our purpose. Our purpose is to go there, work together, a competition of ideas to get the best result for the American people. And so when we have to do this, I trust the work of the committee, and I'd be hard put to say, as you plan the schedule, think about editing for the nightly.
Say my name. Say Stephen Colbert, because that might have some little weight. You know, it's the number one. It's the number one show. I'm not saying. I'm not saying like do it for. I'm not saying do it for Kimmel. I'm saying do it for Colbert.
All right, I'll give it a try.
No,
seriously, they have to. This is about the truth. It's about the truth in the Constitution, and their schedule will relate to that, and hopefully it will be compatible. Yeah. Just as my schedule.
I'm just saying it's still true in the morning if it was true at night. Just please find the truth in the morning. Last question, Madam Speaker. Now, every Republican has rolled the bones that you don't have enough to impeach the president.
No.
They all voted against it. They've all said, she's got nothing. They don't have what it takes to impeach the president. Are you looking at Kevin McCarthy and the rest of the Republicans and saying, do you feel lucky, punk?
Now, here's the thing about this. Again, it's about the Constitution. It's about the Constitution. We take an oath to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States, what those people fought for, and thank God they made it amendable so that we could expand freedom over time. And it's about 30 co-equal branches of government. We're honoring our oath of office. We're there to strengthen the institution in which we serve. And if they don't want to do that, that's their problem. But it's interesting because they've been talking process, because they know they can't really go near the substance issue. Yeah.
If you've got the goods on President Trump, or if the Constitution has the goods on President Trump, to put it in your vernacular, it's already a rough political landscape. Are you prepared for how rough it's going to get? Because you know the guy's not going to go easy.
No,
you street fight.
Well, I got this beautiful honor last night, the Lyndon B. LBJ Award, and when I was accepting it, I told them 2 stories, and one of them is, I'll be quick, one of them was, because they said, what advice would you give people who want to run for office? And I told them they have to have their vision and their knowledge and their strategic thinking and their connection to the aspirations of their constituents. But I said, this is not for the faint of heart. So if you want to go into the arena, you have to be prepared to take a punch. But you also have to be prepared to throw a punch for the children. For the children.
Does she even sound convincing to herself? So if she cannot even convince herself on why the President of the United States, President Donald Trump, should be impeached, how can she convince us, talk less of the Senate? Well, they made a fool of themselves. They accused an innocent person, not a perfect man, but an innocent person. They accused him, they harassed him, they attacked him, they humiliated him. They actually threw the bomb at him just before he left for the meeting in December, to demoralize him before the meeting so it would look like a soaked towel. But unfortunately, it has backfired against them. But you know what? Just like a year ago, during President Trump's speech, that he gave an hypocritical clap like that, when the trial, when President Trump was actually making his own speech, look at how this woman actually acted. She acted by stripping the presidential speech. Who does that, for Christ's sakes? You strip a presidential speech. Why? Because the impeachment did not go the way they want. You can't just rise up against, you say, this is a perfect example for anybody going through this gangstalking attack. You see, they can't just rise up against you, wage war of words against you, release slander campaign to demoralize you. I believe President Trump is a perfect example for any targeted individual going through the attack and the persecution of the gangstalking program. Hold your ground. Well, he has money than most of us. You know, actually, they rendered me broke as a mouse. You understand? Because they attacked my finance and everything like that. But he's a billionaire. So even they attack his, thousands or millions of his money, he still has, the rich man's wealth is a fortified wall around him. He still had his wealth to get lawyers, to get all these things, which I struggled to get a lawyer. I had to actually look for donation to get a lawyer. But at least it's a perfect example to show, stand your ground, be determined, fight back, and don't lose focus. That's what President Donald Trump has actually exposed and has actually taught most of us. I have my eyes on everyone that is actually something to be reckoned with. And even despite the fact that President Trump said something silly about the African president, even though, the president have not actually, African presidents have not actually, worked in their true position, or maybe we are the one choosing the wrong president to preside over us. But it was very, very rude, and the African president wanted him to apologize for his rudeness. Though the Nigerian president actually denied the attack, he even pretended as if, He never even heard about it. But the most important thing is that you see, I'm for truth, I'm for justice, no matter who is for or against. You understand? So the thing is that, let the truth be told, the Gangstalking program actually has seen a very disgraceful defeat through President Donald Trump. And that is why I celebrate him, not as a perfect person, but as a person that stands challenges and he does not take no for an answer. I believe most of us should learn from that. And you know what? The likes of Nancy Pelosi should return to the old people's home where they escaped from in the first place, instead of making a nuisance of constitution, making a nuisance of lawmakers, instead of making a nuisance of themselves. You know what? You actually accuse she actually accused President Donald Trump of abuse of power and obstructing the Senate. I believe she should be considered for impeachment for abuse of power and, of course, for also obstructing the Senate. Thank you, and I'll see you in my next blog. I believe this is a close-up for the Gangstalking presidential impeachment videos. It's all over. We have been vindicated. Donald Trump is a free man to preside over his country without challenges and without unnecessary side distraction. So anyway, I will just close. Also, I just want to, show you not just Nancy Pelosi. She has actually brainwashed every other person that certain people did not even want to attend. They even refused to attend a speech. And unfortunately, there's a melanin woman there also. Just listen to this before I close up.
Congresswomen, also deeply impacted by their derangement syndrome, just could not bring themselves to sit and listen to the president's speech. Yes, both Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the real Speaker of the House, and Congresswoman Presley boycotted the State of the Union. They were missed sorely. Naturally, Ocasio-Cortez spent the night sulking on Instagram, and meanwhile, Senator Lindsey Graham tweeted, quote, "I can't blame AOC for boycotting the State of the Union. Must be painful for a committed socialist to hear the record of accomplishments regarding economic growth and prosperity we have achieved under President Trump." We will scroll them again as we speak. Joining us now with reaction, South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham. You're tweeting today. I actually retweeted you because you're on a roll today. You had your talk show game on. Just like when you said BS on the show twice, I was very proud of you. Wish I could do it. I have to deal with, 6 weeks of getting beat up. But we are watching something historic unfold, and that's our country succeeding. That's one America. And then the other side.
Yes, a compelling narrative that every American from every walk of life is doing better economically. Our military is strong since Reagan. I've never seen it this strong. Terrorists are dead that deserve to be dead. And when that soldier came to see his wife and his 2 kids, I just lost it. So President Trump is well on his way to getting reelected, and AOC probably is glad she didn't come, because if you're a committed socialist, this speech was a speech from hell, because it talked about freedom, the power of the individual versus the power of government. It talked about prosperity for all, best achieved through economic growth, lower taxes, less regulation. This is a speech a socialist could not stand. And to Speaker Pelosi, you can tear up the speech, but you can't tear up the accomplishments, and that's what this race is going to be about in 2020.
Oh, that's a powerful line. As I look through all of this, and you had a career moment, rightly so, in the Kavanaugh case. We know how hard you work to get the truth out, and the double standard and breathtaking hypocrisy. There's a lot of winning going on that we'll scroll that again now, if we can put that up, the success of the president. But there's also a lot of losers, winners and losers, I would say here. And I would venture you had a pretty good guess of that.
Yeah, well, we're going to acquit the president tomorrow in a bipartisan fashion. This has been a sham of an impeachment. But I think The American people are going to win when we acquit because they can vote for this good man again. Who in their right mind would fire Donald Trump after his accomplishments in his first term? But we did lose months of time to do things on behalf of the American people through impeachment and the process in the House. The biggest winner is Mitch McConnell. He kicked Schumer's butt yet again. He did Kavanaugh, and now he's done it in impeachment. But the biggest winner of all by far is President Trump, because he comes out of this thing stronger. He's got more support today than he did before impeachment, and he's well on his way, I think, to getting a second term.
So that's just it. Whether they were present or not, the speech was made, he has been vindicated, he has been acquitted, he has been exonerated, and there's nothing you or your lives can do about it. Okay? Now, peace out. And remember, the greatest weapon in the hands of the oppressor is the mind of the oppressed. As I always say, face your fears, elevate your mind, and resist every temptation to panic. And I'll see you in my next video. It's from me, Lady Abimbola. Lots of love and say cool. Take a look at me, I'm a wonder. It doesn't matter what you see now. Can you see God's glory? 'Cause I know who I am. I'm walking in power. Yeah, I walk in miracles. I live a life of favor. Yes, I know who I am.